The morning sun had barely climbed over the city when a garbage truck rolled slowly into the quiet residential street, its metal sides rattling softly like a warning no one noticed. Inside the faded uniform of a garbage-collecting woman stood a man whose name once dominated business headlines, whose signature could move millions in a single stroke. That man was Armin Haley M., a self-made millionaire who had traded tailored suits for torn gloves, all for one painful reason: to discover the truth about the woman his son had married. What he was about to witness would shatter his pride, test his heart, and redefine what legacy truly meant. Before the story goes deeper, if you believe kindness still matters in a world that often forgets it, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel One Heart Stories. Your support helps keep stories like this alive, stories about second chances and unseen humanity. Armin had not always been distant, but success hardened him. Years of betrayal disguised as loyalty had taught him to trust no one easily. When his only son, Xavier, married Larianne, a quiet woman from a modest background, Armin smiled publicly but doubted privately. He wondered if love had brought her into the family, or something far colder. After a sudden illness forced Armin into early retirement from daily operations, he noticed changes. Household staff complained of being ignored. Charity donations were quietly reduced. Most painfully, Armin felt invisible in the very home he had built. Suspicion grew like a slow poison, and instead of confronting it, he chose a test. Disguised in worn clothes, his posture bent, hair hidden under a scarf, Armin joined a municipal garbage crew for a week. It was meant to be brief, just enough to observe Larianne from the outside, without privilege or power protecting him. The work was brutal under the daytime sun. The smell clung to his skin, the weight crushed his arms, and the stares from passing cars stripped him of dignity. Yet with every aching step, Armin felt something unfamiliar stirring inside him: humility. On the third day, the truck stopped outside his own mansion. The gates opened slowly, revealing marble steps and manicured lawns that once symbolized success. Now they felt distant. As Armin dragged a bin toward the truck, his hands trembling from exhaustion, he felt the sting of shame he had never known before. He expected indifference, perhaps even cruelty. Instead, the front door opened. Larianne stepped out into the daylight carrying a tray of water bottles and wrapped food. Her face showed no recognition, only concern. Without hesitation, she walked toward the workers, placing the tray gently on the pavement. She wiped sweat from her forehead, squinting against the sun, and waited until everyone had taken something. When Armin reached last, she noticed his shaking hands and quietly steadied the bottle for him. She insisted he sit for a moment, gesturing toward the shade of a tree, even as the truck driver urged them to move on. That moment unsettled Armin more than any harsh treatment could have. He had expected a performance if kindness came at all, something artificial. Instead, what he saw was effortless compassion. Over the next few days, he watched more. Larianne greeting delivery workers with respect. Larianne helping a neighbor carry groceries. Larianne personally sorting old clothes to give away during the daytime instead of throwing them out. Each small act chipped away at the wall Armin had built around his heart. But the real test came unexpectedly. One afternoon, as the sun blazed overhead, Armin deliberately dropped to his knees while lifting a heavy bag, pretending his back had given out. Pain was not entirely an act, his body protested fiercely. The other workers hesitated, afraid of losing time. Before anyone else moved, Larianne rushed out again, her concern unmistakable. She called for help, brought a chair, and insisted the supervisor allow Armin to rest. She even offered to pay for medical care if needed, without knowing who he was or what he owned. In that moment, surrounded by the noise of the street and the weight of his own guilt, Armin felt tears burn behind his eyes. He realized the test had not revealed Larian's character alone. It had exposed his own prejudice. He had measured worth by wealth, loyalty by appearance, love by control. And he had been wrong. On the final day, Armin did not return with the garbage truck. Instead, he waited in the living room of the mansion, dressed once again as himself. When Larian entered, carrying documents and looking tired from managing the household, Armin stood slowly. The truth unfolded not through accusation, but through confession. He revealed everything. The disguise. The test. The shame. Larian did not cry in anger. She cried in relief. Relief that the distance, the coldness, the unspoken judgment finally had a reason. She explained how she had struggled to live up to a legacy that never seemed satisfied, how she had tried to honor the family quietly, without demanding recognition. She spoke of loneliness, of loving Xavian while feeling constantly evaluated. Armin listened, truly listened, for the first time. From that day forward, the house changed. Staff were treated as family again. Charity returned, stronger than before. Armin publicly acknowledged Larian not just as his daughter-in-law, but as the moral compass he had lost along the way. And in the daytime light that now filled the mansion, there was warmth instead of suspicion. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that true wealth lies in kindness and humility, please take a moment to engage with this video. Your support helps these stories reach others who may need them. Before the ending, a special request from us: comment one word that represents kindness to you, and read others' comments to see how many hearts still believe. Armin Halayem set out to test another soul and ended up discovering his own. And sometimes, the greatest inheritance a family can pass down is not money, but mercy.